Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Reboot It. Tonight we're joined by...
Mark
Amanda.
Boltz-Robinson.
And Amanda Berlin.
Okay, great. That wasn't too much of a train wreck. We did it the last time, and Amanda just sat there. I was like, you're supposed to say your name.
I'm used to people.
I figured to also do it in the order of the script, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
That's why I keep telling people, but no one will do it that way.
Sorry,
So, Amanda,
I'm used to people introducing me. So
you've been on that other podcast for too long.
I know.
Breaking into Security with Brian Brake.
They
And
should fire me by now.
have you not been on there?
The pay's horrible. Yeah, I have.
The pay is horrible. I know you'd missed a few episodes, so I was wondering if...
I did. I was camping the one time, and I don't know where I was at the other time.
And then Brian was complaining that we had you on without their permission. So maybe we should put in the show notes, Amanda Berlin appearing courtesy of breaking into Security.
I'm an open agent, I thought. There's no contracts.
That's what I heard. But anyway, I'm sorry, it's being a little racy there. So thanks for being on tonight. It's episode 76. Just talking to Mark about moving the podcast over to Audio Boom and some of the kind of weird metrics we've gotten since we moved to Audio Boom.
Oh, really?
The most listened to episode is episode 69.
Oh.
And episode 69 was the episode from March 24th, 2017. And the most... it appears that it was most listened to or downloaded in a place called Moscow, Russia. And I was going through the stories, and the top story is Russian bank claims effort to frame it for connections to Trump organization. And was Yahoo a sanctioned FSB operation or rogue operation? So I'd say there's a few things that may have been of interest to those people over there. And then the second most traffic came from Ashburn, Virginia, which was also kind of interesting. But anyway.
You know anybody in Ashburn?
Just some two-letter agencies. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Things get collected just to collect them for no reason, and who knows? Maybe a bunch of outside the Beltway fans, or maybe, I don't know. Maybe Forgotten Sec downloaded it 100,000 times. I don't know. Maybe. So anyway, upcoming conferences. Black Hat starts when?
Soon. Today? Maybe?
In 2 days. My kids are out there right now. They flew out to Vegas, and they're going to start stuffing bags, I guess.
Oh, fun.
For the training stuff.
Yeah, for the training stuff, and then they'll be there through the conference. The training's the 22nd and 25th. The conference is 26th to the 27th. So my students are volunteering this year.
Very cool. More power to them. Because I'm never doing it again.
Well, if I were a young man and I could get the benefit of going out there and networking, I think it's an excellent opportunity for them. So,
totally.
We made that possible, and I hope they all win. I know at least one person backed out.
Okay.
A couple of people had work things come up at the very last minute. So, one of which, she's a police dispatcher, so I guess that's important. The other one works at a drive-in, and apparently, like, half the staff quit, so he was unable to get vacation time. Besides Las Vegas, July 25th, 26th, and to Tuscany Suites. I guess if you're not going to DEF CON B-Sides Black Hat this time, you're pretty much shit out of luck, right?
Why?
Well, I mean, wouldn't you have to have booked?
Oh, at this point?
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
no, not necessarily.
My God, people living on the edge.
Yeah, I mean,
spontaneous.
I talked to somebody last night that was thinking about actually just driving to Vegas.
That makes me want to poke my eyes out with a pencil.
Yeah, he was going to drive to Vegas and
I just drove to West Lafayette.
bum hotel rooms and just pay the $300 for, pack a bunch of ramen.
Yeah, they're going to be sleep deprived and malnutritioned.
That's what DEF CON's all about.
Yeah, I just drove 6 hours, and that was enough to. That's about my limit. We drove up to West Lafayette, Indiana.
Mark, are you going?
I am not. I have client billable hours instead. So
Some of us have jobs.
Speaking of jobs, I just applied for a second, like a second job, I guess. I'm on my son's school newsletter thing, and they sent out this thing about they needed somebody to do website management and social media for 10 grand a year.
What, 10 grand a year? I'll sign it up.
Right? I'm like, all right. I sent them all my stuff. I figure, if I don't like it, I'd just quit. It's not like it's going to be my main job.
Just remember, it's 1099 work. They don't take out taxes.
Meh.
So give all of your money to Hackers for Charity.
Yes, I'll do that.
Amanda, you're going out there, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, I leave Tuesday. I'll be out there Tuesday around noon Vegas time, and then I come back.
Well, look up my students.
Middle of the night.
Are you driving?
No. I'm flying.
That's the other thing. To fly from here is like $1,000.
Holy crap! No way.
All my kids, they drove either to Pittsburgh, Columbus, or Cincinnati to catch flights because it would cost a fortune to fly out of here.
Yeah, the Columbus flights weren't bad. I have a friend meeting me out there that is flying from Columbus, and it was like $400.
Yep. Yeah. Good time, I'm sure. I'm about conferenced out at this point in my life, I think.
Yeah, it's getting to be that way for me, too.
I will be at DerbyCon as far as I know. DerbyCon is sold out. They keep releasing tickets, so
like 20 at a time.
Yeah, keep your eye out. I submitted a talk, so we'll see what happens. I have a room, but no ticket. Maybe attending LobbyCon, and as busy as my fall is getting, I fear that if I don't get selected to speak, I just won't be there. So I'll try to be there if I can. B-Sides Asheville is also at the same time, July 28th, 29th, bsidesasheville.com. I will not be at B-Sides Asheville either this year. I'm going to have to make a pilgrimage down to Asheville just for the restaurant and the food scene sometime soon. B-Sides DC, October 6th and the 7th. bsidesdc.org. Mark, you're a founder of B-Side DC. Do you know anything about it to share?
I only know that it seems like it will be the same great event that it's been so far. The organizers that are currently running the show, Alex Norman and Duran and the gang, are all doing a bang-up job, and it looks like it's going to be, the various villages as usual, plus other training and educational stuff. And I think they had a record number of CFP submissions this year.
That's great.
Oh, wow.
So that should be awesome. I unfortunately won't be there because I have to be in, well, I don't have to be. I'm choosing to be in Germany for our annual pilgrimage to continent for Oktoberfest and other things. So
You're not just going to Hofbrauhaus, you're going to the Hofbrauhaus, right?
No, not just the Hofbrauhaus, but the October.
Right, exactly.
So I'll have to figure out other conferences to go to, and I need to start submitting some talk ideas. I have a few in mind now, finally. So,
well, we'll get to it later on, but there's this thing called Secure W HackerCon. The CFP is open.
I know. I was just talking about it.
Amanda?
I submitted.
You did? Okay, I missed the last meeting, so I didn't know.
I literally sent an email to the CFP email.
And what did it say?
It said something like,
I'm going to talk about something. I don't know what yet.
Bill told me to submit. I'll talk about something.
You do everything I tell you to do?
This is my big...
Yeah, but you use the penis enlargement subject line. That's not going to work.
Oh, not yet.
Viagra, free Viagra.
That's like my tagline, my automatic tagline in my emails, though.
Anyway, well, there go.
Why is nobody answering me?
I put in the subject line of all my email possible spam, and I'm not sure why no one ever gets back to me. So. Skydog Con is in October 20th to the 21st down in Franklin. I'm going to have to go to Skydog Con this year. That's not a long drive. Down in Tennessee. I've never been. Something I always wanted to do. I think I say this every time we have a show. I'm like my mother. I'm starting to tell the same stories over and over again and repeat myself, and it's starting to scare me.
Yeah, my mom does that too.
GurCon, October 26th and 27th in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
You should go to that one. That would be one hell of a drive for you, though.
It's a freaking drive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'd have to fly to that. My arms are tired.
I do have another podcast tonight.
Oh, what time? Now?
9:30.
Okay, well, we'll start talking faster. How's that?
Yeah,
http girlcon.com, grrcon.com. Well, they could just dial in and we could do like his joint podcast like we did that one time.
Right?
Boy, that was a mess.
Wasn't it?
Oh my gosh.
Like 20 people on. Is that the one you called me when I was sleeping?
I don't know what you're talking about. Sure. I think I might have had a drink or two that night. Maybe a couple bottles of wine. O'Reilly Security Conference. Build better defenses.
Yes.
Why don't you talk about that, Amanda, since that is your
I will be there.
Point.
I submitted a CFP for this project. And actually, the project that I'm working on, I'm going to be talking about. I've been building my lab for it the last couple of days.
How's that going?
Pretty well. It's just time consuming. So it's just a small lab. I have a firewall, layer 3 switch, an IPS, and then I have a Lenovo server that I'm going to put a bunch of VMs on. I'm going to set up Splunk and Snort and a whole bunch of stuff.
You'll have better lab equipment than I do at work. So frightening but true.
I'm excited about it. I'm giving a 3-hour tutorial, they call it.
3-hour tour. 3-hour tour.
Not a 5-hour tour.
No, it was a 3-hour tour.
3-hour tour.
I don't know.
Goodness.
Then the weather started getting rough and the tiny ship was tossed.
If it wasn't for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost.
We had to go on stage. By spoken word.
Like a B-Sides rally.
At the snap.
Yeah, he's already.
October 28th.
B-Sides rally, October 28th.
Being in an IMAX theater, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I know.
And they took advantage of some of the new top-level domains you can register now. Their website is bsidesrally.ninja.
Yes.
What's the next one, Mark?
B-Sides Charleston.
South Carolina.
South Carolina, not West Virginia. And that's November 11th at the College of Charleston, bsidescharleston.com. And of course, for all the B-Sides, you can also go to the mothership, securitybsides.com, and they have links to the regionals. And Secure West Virginia 3/Hacker 8 the Ocho. November 17th through 19th in South Charleston, West Virginia. CFP is open.
SecureWV.com. Looking for speakers. We're still looking for some sponsors. So if you want to sponsor, hit us up. We're a 501c3, so it is tax deductible.
Yes.
And you can go ahead and do your room reservations now, too. There's a room block, and it's very inexpensive. It's a very inexpensive conference if you can get here, especially if you're in driving distance. We have moved the podcast. We have a new RSS feed, and there's a iTunes subscribe link as well in the show notes. So we fixed the issues we had with iTunes. So, Mark, I held this story over just for you because Amanda and I talked about this last week. Smart speaker calls 911 during domestic dispute.
I want to know what the alleged smart home device was that made that call.
You notice they don't say.
Yeah, and originally everybody said it was Google Home, and then it was like Google Home can't call 911, and Google and Alexa both require, like Siri and everything else, you need the wake up words. Hey Siri, Alexa,
Right.
okay Google. So,
I wonder if
okay Google, search for midget kitty porn.
Oh, there goes my phone.
Let's see here. You like those listening from law enforcement.
Alexa, order 5 to 5 gallon drum of lube. Alexa, confirm order.
Yeah.
No,
You
crap,
know,
my
just
Alexa just responded.
if oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah, so if you want us to, let's hold up your iPhone while you're listening to, let's go buck wild on your home automation system.
Yeah, we mostly use her for turning lights on and off is really what it comes down to, but
that was pretty funny actually. That'd be expensive. I guess we could ask Jim McMurray about that, right?
yeah, I think the shipping cost alone for that was probably pretty hefty. But I think it was Dave that sent it to Jim, not the other way.
It was. Well, Dave's rolling in the dough. Apparently, TrustedSec has a new website. Check it out. It's very nice. TrustedSec.com. So, do you all have anything else to say about the smart speaker, or was we just of the general consensus that it's a mashable story and it's a bunch of BS?
Yeah, I can't think of any assistive device for smart home tech right now that would have that kind of interface. Like I don't know. I'm not buying it. Until I understand what the device is, I have to say no. It's whimsical at best.
Alphabet and Hasana dark web market shut down. So apparently DOJ had a big press conference today, and these are two of the larger.
The Attorney General and Resident Evil Keebler Elf himself.
Apparently, in the U.S., the only thing they want to talk about was statements that Trump had made about the Attorney General. But the rest of the world were interested in this story. My question is, if you're doing, if you're watching for evil, doing threat intelligence, doesn't this sort of blind you? What do you think? Is that a bad analogy?
I hadn't really considered that point to it.
I mean, what will happen is,
the first thing I read when I see these articles is I see dark web, and it irritates me almost as much as cyber, because it's like
we should call it
there's a whole other internet out there that somehow, like, you actually have to somehow, like, literally knock on a door, like a speakeasy, and say a secret password to get into, which is totally not true.
Oh, that's not how it works?
I want to tell you right now, I am copywriting the term cyber dark web.
Good luck with that.
My new book's going to be called Cyber Dark Web. It's the thriller.
Yeah, I could actually see that doing very well.
Well, the question becomes too, as you talk about things. Well, that's like all the people write cyber warfare books, right? There's like 1,000 of them. Because the title is sexy. There's only about 6 out there that are really worth their weight in salt. But yeah, you're right. So dark web. What does that mean?
It's clearly racist too. It's
right.
But is that I2P or is it Tor?
I think what it is just in general, they're the sites that just use various trickery to make sure that they don't get sucked up into the big search engines. So if you go to Google and try and find the things that Alphabet is selling, you're not going to find them as one of the results.
Right. So it's
hidden in that respect. But that's those of us who are as ancient as I am and remember the before times, know that there was a time when the internet, when you still had FTP and Gopher and Archie and all that, that finding stuff was way more difficult, but
Yep.
we still found stuff. I mean,
Well, there were directories. Usually,
yeah,
nothing else.
you find some bulletin board or some Usenet thing where somebody told something about something and you get a link. So,
Right.
Yep.
but I mean, I have to confess I didn't read up enough about what these two
That's fine.
sites were offering. What was there? Were they just like, free drugs and
Yeah, I'm sure it was all that sort of thing. It was sort of replacement for Silk Road,
Yeah.
credit card numbers, Carter. I mean, it was a Carter site as well. So,
Did you see all the stuff that the police seized?
yeah, crazy stuff.
Millions of dollars in assets, 3 properties, and 4 Lamborghinis.
So apparently they were making money.
Yeah,
yeah, except he was found dead in a Bangkok jail.
I
So,
see that.
so,
Oh, he apparently took his own life.
mhm.
Well, I mean, it's just like the whole not Pirate Bay, the whole Silk Road thing and the Dread Pirate Roberts. They don't even really know who the Dread Pirate Roberts was. There are theories out there that the Dread Pirate Roberts was 2 people. And the guy they actually busted did not have the sort of,
Well,
he doesn't meet the psychological profile apparently.
Well, I mean, they explained the Dread Pirate Roberts and the Princess Bride. I mean,
Yeah. We should put the links in the show notes to go find Princess Drive. You know what I saw on my trip?
What
a video store.
I know, there's still a thing.
Apparently in Indiana, you can still go to a video store.
There's one in my mom's town.
What the hell? What are you all doing in the Midwest?
No idea. I don't even know what type of person goes to a video store.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Some weird stuff.
The most interesting part of the article was actually the last line, that Alpha Bay actually had over 350,000 listings for items, and Silk Road was only 14,000.
Now I wonder why. Just because did the taking down of Silk Road make dark web stuff more like
mainstream?
Like mainstream, so more people knew that kind of thing was possible. Is that?
I honestly think there may be some truth to that theory. I think that's an excellent theory. Like that there were so many people that had no idea that there was such a thing as the dark web, quote unquote. I'm doing air quotes in the audio here. But that they were, wait a minute, you mean there's a place online where I can just go and order pot? And
yeah, exactly. That way they don't have to take the risk, or that to them it doesn't seem as much as a risk because it's online, and it's anonymous. But to them, well, Tour I2P, well, it's anonymous. So, and I'm sure every time it's going to be whack-a-mole with these sites. Take one down, one's going to come back up. So,
yeah, just like streaming sites, it's never going to go away.
The carding sites have been around since the 90s. Every time they take one offline, another one pops up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
These sites earn like hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, if you can make that kind of money, you're gonna find a way.
Yeah.
So
exactly, and probably most of these sites, in some cases, are either well, it is organized crime, but maybe have ties to bigger organized crime organizations, especially in Eastern Europe and Russia. Mark, we had the Kaspersky story last week. Do you want to take a swing at that? You know what I'm talking about, right? Since that's in your space.
The fact that the DOD basically said you're not supposed to buy their crap. Yeah,
pretty much.
I don't say that their stuff is crap. I just meant that as a general term for stuff. But I have no opinion one way or the other on their solutions or tech. But I do know Kaspersky seems to be just about as much of a drama queen as the Larry Ellisons and John McAfee's and stuff of the world. So if I were the U.S. government, I would have never even considered. I'm like, wait a minute, you mean you allowed it previously? Like,
Yeah, that was weird to me too.
So
it comes from, I guess that came from DOJ. It didn't come from CERT. To me, that's kind of telling. It didn't come as an FBI joint report from FBI DHS. It came from DOJ. So who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting because we're in this whole, Trump Russian collusion thing going on. Don't use Kaspersky. Does that somehow leverage the Russian government?
No.
Was Kaspersky anti-Russian? And if you go and look, all this press I've seen recently is Kaspersky is the good guys in Russia. They're fighting Russian organized crime, and they're no fan of Putin. I don't know.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're just a fan of money, like any corporation. I mean, the Russians' money.
If you're the GRU or whatever the FSB or whatever the KGB is these days, Kaspersky could very well mean that. But do you honestly think that they're not going to at least make every effort to put crap in as backdoors to their products as like the easiest target for them to go after? I mean, I
think that's the allegation.
The concept, whether Kaspersky is aware of it or not, of trusting a Russian antivirus vendor just seems strange to me. Like, I certainly wouldn't do it, but
I use a Mac because they don't get viruses.
Right. Speaking of which, on the iOS side, you should definitely apply the latest update, which came out yesterday, especially if you're going to Hacker Summer Camp, because there is a fix for a Wi-Fi vulnerability that you're going to want to have with you.
Well, my biggest issue with applying patches is I never seem to have enough space, so I guess I'll have to play that game again. There's a lot of pictures on my phone. Blair was just complaining about how she's always doesn't have a lot of space.
The cloud, man. The cloud.
The
cloud. As I told her, just go ahead and delete all your apps, update the iOS, and then re-download what you use. To me, that's
so clearing out any app. If there's an app that you haven't touched in like a year, you should probably throw it out. But on the other hand, I don't know. I go with the cloud. I have the home Mac is the one that gets the actual library, and then every other device just treats it as a cloud copy. And then that's backed up in 6 different ways as well. But anyway, it is important to keep up to date.
Yeah, there's been a lot of drama in the InfoSec community about these people. There's a lot of drama in the InfoSec community, period. But like some people are trying to be helpful with like tips for Hacker Summer Camp, and people are trolling them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's a really good article that I always send to people that a friend of mine wrote that is pretty spot on.
Well, it's a question of like everybody going out and buying burner phones, which I think part of it is that people misuse the term burner phone. Like there's a burner phone, which is an actual like anonymous random number that you haven't given anybody that's like untraceable. You chuck it, it's prepaid, whatever.
Bought it
there's the concept of the burner phone, which is, I'm going to get like an older Nokia that still does like, it's not smart in any way, shape, or form. It's actually stupid, but I just wanted to use it to make calls and text messages. And then there's another group that says, well, just stay off the Wi-Fi, dummy. And
then there's the people who have the quote burner phone where they download all of their apps, put all their personal information on there, and oh yeah, I've got a burner phone. Well, that doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Just because you have a phone you physically throw away, when you're done, you're still exposing all of your data.
Yep.
But there is no shortage of drama in InfoSec. But we're not going down that rabbit hole. Judge rules pacemaker data admissible in court.
I read that. That was weird.
I saw it was in Ohio, and I was like, wow, they're letting them use Amanda's vibrator.
That'll be next.
It does have an interesting tie to the
That's a
previous
lot of
episode
data.
where we talked about teledildonics.
Mhm.
I mean,
I know. I am setting up my lab. I should have part of that as part of my lab and sniff that traffic.
so I don't understand how you say that the data is entirely inadmissible just on privacy grounds. Like, I think if there's already other probable cause and other data involved in this case, it doesn't seem unreasonable that this effect, by Fourth Amendment definition, is any less seizable with warrant as any other letter, data, whatever. Like,
I agree.
I mean, assuming it's obtained in all the correct ways to get this data, and the data is something that has bearing on the question and the case at hand, then I don't see what the deal is. Like,
Well, I mean, I guess the people are like, this is a slippery slope. Today it's pacemaker data. Tomorrow it is your vibrator.
right, but slippery slope is a logical fallacy anyway.
It exactly is. I agree with that, and I agree with you too. And I think we'll see more of this. Totally unrelated but related story. I saw a story today where a woman was convicted of murder because the parrot saw it and was able to identify the killer.
No.
The Daily Mail story.
No.
The UK Daily Mail. It's hilarious.
Well, Daily Mail. There you go. That explains a lot right there. That bastion of journalistic UK integrity there.
Right.
I just thought that was funny. I mean,
no, that's funny now. But when see the vibrator thing I mentioned with some reason, which is that, think of the inverse, where you prove that you did not commit a crime because the teledildonic data from your vibrator proves that you were pleasuring yourself at the time the crime was committed.
Well, how would it prove it was you, actually?
Well, in terms of that smart new one that they had that we talked about on this same show multiple episodes ago, there was that one that could actually do something based off of DNA or something. I forget.
I don't know about anybody else, but I'm pretty sure I could do. I can multitask. I could probably murder somebody at the same time.
I think I've seen that movie. Well, this is a family show, damn it.
I was hoping there would be enough fucks given that we get the E rating again.
Oh, it is actually set up now, so it is our explicit rating for all shows. So we're good to go. So yeah, you're welcome to cuss if you want to. It's all good. I'm not worried about it as long as we don't make iTunes mad. So we just sort of mark them all as explicit. And anytime that Amanda's on, they're explicit.
Yeah.
So there's another decryption story. Australia plans to force tech giants to decrypt messages. This is the same old, isn't it?
Proving that the U.S. Congress has no monopoly on stupidity. I especially love their audacity, though, for one, trying to say that Australian law trumps mathematics.
Very true.
And even better than that was we need encryption to protect data for the intelligence agencies and the police, but we need the keys for everybody else, and we promise nothing bad's going to happen to them.
Yeah, well, police do such a good job in the past.
Yeah, and that's the failings of them to retain the data, and the Celebrate hack, the TSA doing something as dumb as holding up a nice high-res, a nice set of keys with the high-res digital photo being published in the New York Times.
Let's not forget OPM.
OPM, I mean, we just see time and time again where the government fails to keep the genie in the bottle, and they continually ask us to give them all the genies.
We just keep seeing this over and over and over again. I don't guess it'll ever stop. It's like SQL injection.
Yeah.
It's like misconfigurations. I mean, I don't know. And it's frustrating.
I did also choose to swap out the original link to a Guardian link instead.
It's all good.
The other one was like popping up all kinds of ads and scary things were happening. So
well, that's the reason I linked to it. That was never mind.
I'm glad I clicked on the Guardian one.
I opened everything in a VM.
No, you don't.
That's true of a lot of these stories links. I mean, sometimes you'll go looking and you've got autoplay video, all kinds of other crazy stuff going on.
What is it? I think it's CNN that does that still, maybe. God,
that's the reason I don't go to CNN.
So annoying.
I mean, I don't know how they have between CNN, MSNBC. I remember the early 2000s, especially during after 9/11, we were all obsessed with news. MSNBC, CNN were the two places I visited the most. I can't tell you the last time I was at either one of those sites.
I don't understand how anybody reads anything on BuzzFeed. Like, that's
it's bad.
I mean, that should be entertainment.
We're really getting to the point where the web of 2017 is just like all the people who say, what was really fun? GeoCities.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we also have the reverse of that is we have the Twitterization of cable news. You used to have experts. Now they just find people off the street that might know something about something they might be talking about, and they just set an opine about, bullshit. It's hard to watch. And generally, I don't watch it, but sometimes I do. There is really big news today for those of you who lived through the 1990s. OJ is free.
I saw that.
He was granted parole.
Yeah.
Of course, he was not convicted of the murders of his ex-wife and Ron Goldman. But Ronald Gold, is that the correct name, or is that his dad's name? Anyway.
Sure. I was like 5 when it happened.
You were like 5. I was, we won't talk about that. I remember sitting in the bar watching the chase. I was sitting there with my friend. It was happy hour. And I believe it was on a Friday. And we're sitting there. Huh? 94, 95?
Okay.
But we were just sitting there, and we saw this white Bronco, and it just went on and on. I'm like, damn, that's a long music video. And then we realized what was going on. But it's one of those places you'll always remember where you were for that, and then I know where I was for the verdict too. I was working in child support back in the day, and we all gathered around the one radio, and that's before the internet it was really almost before the internet, but I guess that's one of those things that you remember where you were when it happened. He looks incredibly old.
Oh yeah.
Well,
he
he's
is
70 now, so
yeah.
How long was he in? Because he was in jail for the stealing of the sports memorabilia.
Well, yeah, he was trying to basically rob a dealer of his sports memorabilia, that he didn't feel that the sports dealer had a right to. So he was actually charged with aggravated robbery and I believe kidnapping at one point. because he held them all in a room.
he held them in the room at one point, so he got the kidnapping charges as well.
And I can't.
He served about 9 years of his sentence so far.
Yeah. I didn't watch the actual the parole hearing. I did sort of watch it streamed by on social media. But one of the funniest things that came out was apparently OJ said that he lived a pretty drama-free life.
Uh-huh.
Has anyone seen Dave Chappelle new show on Netflix?
I have not yet. But
It's not a show, but it's two. There's two different stand-ups. It's excellent. Watch it. He makes some O.J. Simpson's references. They're pretty funny.
I went to watch some. I was like running out of Netflix things to watch. Like I'm caught up on almost everything, and so there's a new special with Bill Nye Science Guy that's supposed to be for adults. I can't
sit through it.
It was horrible.
It is horrible. It was a waste of money.
Absolutely horrible. Like, I understand they're trying to do good things for the environment and stuff, but I sat through about 5-10 minutes of it and I had to shut it off because it was just.
Welcome to InfoSec on InfoSec on TV. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's bad. What I've been watching is if you get CISO, there's a show called Bazillion Dollar Properties, which is from the same people that used to do Reno 911. And it's hilarious. CISO's about $5 a month or something. They also have My Brother and Me TV show, which was filmed in Huntington. But anyway, yeah, I'm running out of things to watch on TV as well. This new movie, the Kingsman.
Yes,
it looks great.
Sequel to the Kingsman or whatever.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
That looks incredibly good. They actually did this Archer Kingsman crossover that was pretty funny. It's on YouTube if you want to look it up. Let me see.
Anything involving Archer is funny, and it's sad that there's only about 2 more seasons of that show.
Well, the Kingsman bit that he does that they do is funnier than the entire last season of Archer.
What?
Have you watched the last season of Archer?
Yeah, Dreamland.
It's bizarre.
I watched part of it.
Oh, I thought Dreamland was great.
I hated it.
Because the one before that was Miami, the Miami Vice one, right?
No, the one before that was when they're in LA.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Miami Vice was a couple ago.
Yeah, that one I didn't like.
It was okay. Archer Vice.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pretty funny. I don't know. I guess they're running out of things to do. I just wanted Archer to become a secret agent again. Instead of all this crazy bullshit. It's like when Jenny met Chachi, at some point, it just jumps the shark. Now, I will say the last season of Archer was beautifully drawn and beautifully written, but to me, it wasn't Archer. It was something else. So 2 more seasons, and I guess he's done, right?
Yep.
The creator says that.
Yeah.
I guess is Comic-Con this week? Is that right? I think Comic-Con.
It seems like there's a gazillion of them these days.
Comic-Con San Diego is the only one that I really.
The big one.
The big one, which is more about television and movies than actual comics anymore.
Because we actually have a Comic-Con here in Vermont. There's one across the lake in New York at Plattsburgh.
Yeah, but to me it's always Comic-Con San Diego. It's the one where all the interesting things come out about new shows, etc. It took them forever to produce the last season of Archer. It seems like it was like I guess they had to redraw all of the.
Well, they had an issue partway through this season for the Dreamland episodes. They had the problem that the guy who was the voice actor for Woodhouse, his servant, the old guy, had passed away. So
but Woodhouse passed away like 2 seasons ago.
But the way they were working on the writing of this already, and before he died, and they had this whole thing of where they were gonna the sketch and I guess the outlines of where they were gonna go with it and everything, and then they had to completely redo it because of his passing. So
Woodhouse, George Coe actually died in 2005 on this day. And I got that from your
That's
post, Mark.
alternative facts. That's
That's actually from your post. Let's look it up. No, this is not the Mandela effect, I don't think. But anyway. I don't think I have anything else.
it's the eerie quiet before the storm, Black Hat, DEF CON, and there'll be tons to talk about after summer camp, I'm sure, as everybody reveals their fun new toys and gadgets and exploits. And
Dropping their O days.
that's so passe now, really. I mean,
It really is. It'll be interesting to see.
people can drop O-days left and right. That's like, yeah, so I want to see somebody drop a defensive device that actually does what it's supposed to do.
Actual anti-hacker APT stuff.
Yeah.
Wiki light box that works. That'd be nice. I guess we'll find out. Amanda, you'll have to brief us when you come back.
I will.
We could try to do a show next week, Mark, if you're around. If not, we can probably try to do a show next week. Amanda probably is not going to be available. Anyway, but we'll try to do a show next week. Trying to get back in the rhythm of doing these more and more and more. But I also don't want to do shows with no content. But I'm less busy than I was. Hopefully school will start soon and my schedule will be more regular. It sounds like I've got some sort of bowel problem.
It does.
They just need to put some more fiber.
This podcast is like the fiber of InfoSec.
Yeah. This is actually the bowels.
It's the bowels of InfoSec. Are we
Anyway,
the fiber? Are we the fiber then, or
we are the fiber? We're the, what do you call that stuff you drink? Old people drink when they can't poop. Mucinex? No, that's a. Huh?
Mucinex is the other end. Prune juice?
Huh? Prune juice.
Yeah.
I guess so. I've never had prune juice. Is it good?
I don't like prune juice. No. I do like prunes, and so do my kids. Like, have you ever had the little? They're Sunsweet. They're like little Sunsweet prunes that come in packages.
I don't eat prunes. It's against my religion.
They're very good. My youngest will have an entire bowl full of them.
At my age, I'm just lucky to eat solid food.
I could blend up the prunes for you.
Oh, okay, that'd be great. That'd be great. I have to look into that. Anyway, kids, thanks for coming on tonight. Wonderful show as always, and we'll try to see everybody next week.
All right. Thanks,
Good night, everybody. Good night.